Welcome back. The rising commitment to electrified vehicles, also called EVs, from countries worldwide have put them on the fast track to changing the future of the automotive industry. Joining me today, executive analyst for Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com, Rebecca Lindland. And we're going to talk about the future of the automotive world and how these electrified vehicles could possibly be shaping the industry. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Audrey. Thank you so much for having me on.
My pleasure. There are electrified cars and there are hybrids. What's the difference between all of these new options that are available?
Well, it's really hard to discern sometimes, and I would definitely encourage consumers to do their research on places like Kelley Blue Book and fueleconomy.gov. The manufacturers' websites will often help with defining what these different vehicles are. So basically, there's electric vehicles, which is something like the Chevy Bolt or the Tesla Model S, which is all electric, doesn't have any kind of a gasoline engine, and has a certain level of range, like any car does. And then we've got something like the plug-in hybrid, which is the Honda Clarity behind me. This is where you've got an electric range for some amount of distance. This one in particular has 47 miles of pure electric range, but also has a gas engine to kind of back it up to provide some reassurance. And it also means that you've got 340 miles of range. So you can do a little bit of your driving, 47 miles on pure electric, and then it switches over to the gas engine when it's needed.
Well, from what I understand from people who own hybrids in general, they're really saving a lot of money on fuel.
You save a lot of money on fuel, you save a lot of time going to the gas station, you're lowering your carbon footprint. You know, when I think about these types of vehicles, I look and say, okay, if I've got 47 miles of range, how much driving do I really do in any given day? And if I'm driving less than that, then really you can use only electric. You come home at night, you can plug it into a 120 volt or a 220 volt right into your garage, right into a regular socket and recharge. Ideally, if you have a high-speed charger, it'll go super fast. And so it's a way to just drive really clean, to use much less gas. And, you know, both of those things are really nice and with no compromises either.
And they're quieter.
They are. It's very interesting. As an automotive person, I kind of love that rumble of the engine sometimes, but then other times it's just really peaceful. And it's just, you can hear your music, you can talk to your friends. It's just a nice, quiet ride. And one of the things I love about the Clarity is that it's very similar to the Honda Accord, which is an absolutely fantastic vehicle as well. And this vehicle will just, it's a no compromises kind of approach to a plug-in hybrid. It's also why it won the Kelley Blue Book Green Car of the Year award.
Well, when you're looking at and comparing electric vehicles, especially if you're thinking about buying one, what should you take into consideration?
You should definitely take into your consideration your daily use of a vehicle, whether it's a commute or just running errands with your family or just by yourself. You've got to look at how much really you're using every day. So for me, I work from home, so I'm just running kind of random errands. That's quite a different thing. For people that have a longer commute, 47 miles may be perfect. They can get to the office. If they have an opportunity to recharge, they can. If not, they can use the gas engine on the way back and charge at home. But you really have to look at your own individual situation to say whether this makes the most sense or not. I would also encourage people to lease. There's a lot of fantastic lease deals out there. There's a lot of opportunities to explore different financing options.
Are there any other benefits or incentives to having an EV like the Honda Clarity that people might find attractive?
One of the biggest incentives to purchase an EV or a plug-in hybrid is access to the HOV lane or the high occupancy vehicle lane when it's just yourself. So these types of vehicles will often qualify for a high occupancy vehicle lane sticker, and again, something you need to explore on a local basis. The other thing too is the $7,500 tax credit that you get, which is federal tax credit, which is still intact from as of this morning. And it's also something that at the state level, a lot of times there'll be incentives as well. So these are the types of vehicles that may require a little bit more research, may require a little bit more local research, but there's really tremendous benefits that you can get by driving these types of vehicles and by leasing or purchasing them.
Do you think that EVs are the future?
I think I think some form of electrification is the future. And there's also a number of reasons, not just from a regulatory standpoint where the government wants to have a cleaner grid and a cleaner roads, but we're also seeing, of course, autonomous vehicles, so self-driving cars that some people may hear of. And those oftentimes require more battery and more energy. And you get a nice blend of, if you've already got a battery on board, you can use the battery to do the autonomous vehicles like the Honda Sensing, where it senses the road for you, and you can also, of course, drive with it as well. So there's a dual benefit there when we have a battery on board. And
what about maintenance?
There can be less maintenance involved, for sure, and it's just a cleaner drive. On your daily drive, making for a cleaner environment, less carbon footprint, and better for everybody.
Very informative. Where can we go for some more information, Rebecca?
So I go to a few websites, kelleybluebook.com or kbb.com. Fueleconomy.gov is also an excellent website for a lot of information. And of course, the manufacturers. Honda has a terrific website about its Clarity vehicles because they've got a few different kinds as well.
My guest has been Rebecca Lindland. We've been talking about the future of the automotive world and how electrified vehicles are shaping the industry. Thanks so much, Rebecca.
Thanks, Audrey.
Well, that's it for this week's show. Join me right here next week for more insightful, intelligent, and inspiring conversations and information on Talk with Audrey.